as you become aware of your body in space, at this moment, at this time, simply bring intentional focus to what you have brought here in this moment. Where is your mind? Where is your sense of yourself in your seat, your body? Are you present? Are you even here? Slowly bring your attention to the breath traveling in and out of the nostrils. And just notice what you notice for the first part of this practice. In this mindfulness practice, we use what's called an anchor. That's the term that we use for what we intentionally bring our focus to. We've been practicing with the breath, starting back at the beginning, starting all over again. Every time we come to our seat, we begin from the beginning. And the primary anchor is always return to the breath. Today we're going to move out from the breath to sound. So we're going to have a new anchor, but always know that if you're finding this challenging, you just simply return to the breath. Sound can also, for some people, be a wonderful anchor if the breath isn't in your practice at the moment. And just notice as we begin to allow ourselves to move toward the vibration of the air, which is where the sound is carried to our ears. Just kind of check yourself out. Notice what you notice. From the beginning, as we prepared for our sitting, we did some things that brought some flowing into the body. Maybe you sense that now as you sit. Maybe you can sense sound in your body. Maybe your heart is beating a little faster from those simple exercises. Sound is always happening. Everything in the universe, even rocks, have a vibration. Some sound is active. You may become aware as you focus on it, on purpose, without judgment, just taking in what's there. There's active sound, like the clock, if you still have a clock. Cars passing by, water, wind, bells, sirens, conversation. Just notice, or maybe there's stillness, maybe there's static. And in those, the difference between the active sound and the more still sound, see if you can recognize what's there. In this first part of silent practice, there's nothing to do, just paying attention, just listening in this moment. Maybe your mind is not still. Is there a sound there? And apparently, Buddha promoted this idea that when we mindfully meditate, we're tuning our instrument. I love that metaphor. We're practicing being present to ourselves with intention, to consciousness, to being awake, to being mindful. So as you take this moment of silence to listen, see what it is or experience what it is that you're hearing. Do your clothes have a sound? Do your hands touching hands maybe have sound if you're in a mudra, or touching your legs? Is there a sound there? Some of us have challenge of tinnitus. What's that sound like? Just be with whatever is there. Hearing what's in the air, coming to the doors of your ears. If there's no active sound in your space, wherever you are, you might go to nature or think about music, the sound of music. What does a flower sound like? What does a cloud sound like? What does the sky sound like? What do birds sound like? What does sleeping sound like? Cooking, walking. Sense the sound. Everything has a vibration. We just don't pay attention. Certainly not intentionally. And if that's even difficult, simply return to your breath. Being right here, right now. No fanfare, no fuss. And if the thoughts are really pulling you, sense what they sound like. What in the world do your thoughts sound like? Are they angry? Are they peaceful? Are they pleasant? Just listen. Listen to what you're hearing. You may notice that you have gotten quieter in your body and in your mind, or maybe not. The instruction is always to notice whatever is happening. That's our practice, actually. That's mindful, is noticing that you're having difficulty, perhaps, or there's a challenge. And just very gently, with patience, with kindness, with compassion for yourself, gently coax your mind to focus on the anchor. And it doesn't really matter how many times you have to do that, because those of you that have been here for a long time know that that's what our minds do. They love to pull us away from the path of focus. The mind is miraculous, but it's also a little bit cuckoo. The mind's job is to be the mind. And even thinking about the sound of the mind when it's quiet or when it's active. So the second instruction is to begin to hone in to the quality of the sound. Is it healing? Is the sound of the mind, for example, is it pleasant, unpleasant, neutral? Or is any sound in our bodies coming from our insides pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral? Or the sounds, the active sounds outside in your environment where you are right now? Are they pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral? And what are their qualities in either of those cases? What do you notice as you focus your mindful attention on purpose without judgment, very patiently on those sounds? And when you're wandering, that's your mindful moment, noticing that you're wandering, and just very gently but firmly coaxing your mind back to the sound. So go ahead and practice. This practice that we are doing, Vipassana practice, is hopefully teaching us to see things just as they are. That is the insight. That's the way the mind can begin to learn to stay steady. And just observe. When I say notice, it's really the intentional focus of seeing what's really in front of us. When you listen for sound, what is at the door of your ears? What insights are you gaining as you sit in meditation about sound in your life, in your body, in your environment? Gently holding you in your own arms with loving kindness, being here in this moment. Training yourself to listen for the sounds in your life. So it's another way for us to be present right here, consciously aware of this moment, which is really the only moment we have. Oh yes, we make plans for later today, for next year. Oh yes, we think about the past, and we worry about tomorrow. But really, truthfully, the only moment that we have is this one, and this one, and this one. And intentionally focusing on purpose, on the breath, and then sound is one way that we can be, not do, just be here, now. So just check in with yourself right now as we come to our last practice of silence. See if your body is still sitting in a beautiful, dignified position. See if you're relaxed. See where you are. Check in with yourself and come back and return to the focus and attention on sound. Always with the backdrop of breath moving in and out of the body. Sound is just one landscape of object-focused attention. Whatever insights you have, pleasant, unpleasant, neutral, making meaning in this moment, applying your mindfulness. As we come to the end of practice, just notice and appreciate yourself. Whatever transpired in these moments as you sat here, paying attention on purpose without judgment. And how meaningful that is to you in your life. And remembering that you can take this with you every second of every moment in your life. You don't just have to come here to do this. The whole point for many of us is to live intentionally, live mindfully. So appreciate that even for just this moment, if this is all you have this week, appreciate yourself for taking this time to be willing to make peace with your mind and body and spirit. Thank yourself. Thank your mind and your body for whatever they offered you. Honor your stillness, the stillness that you are able to achieve, whatever that is. No judgment. And treasure your spirit for its willingness. And simply in the metta practice for today, repeat silently in your head after me, I am filled with loving kindness. I am free from fear and danger. I am free from suffering. I am healthy and whole to whatever degree possible. And in a general sense, we can say in all directions, I am peaceful and at ease and happy. And may all beings be peaceful, at ease, and happy. And remember to take this with you into your week, the rest of this day. And gently, when you hear the sound of the bells, just gently return. Put a slight smile at the corners of your lips, a twinkle in your eye. Namaste, many blessings.